Hey everyone, so we're going to be doing a deep dive of Jenny and Sumit from 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way. We kick off from season 1, episode 1, with an introduction by Jenny. She is 60 years old and she's from Palm Springs, California. We start off with her introduction. She says she's been married once before, she has 3 kids, 4 grandkids, and she thought she'd never find love again. One day, when Jenny was on Facebook, she gets a friend request from a Michael Jones, and she's basically enamored by him. He, in her words, looks British. He's good looking, he's tall, he's lean, he's 25. They start chatting, he makes her laugh, and she was a little skeptical about it, this whole thing, because he was half her age, but she went along with it, because she thought he was cute, he made her laugh, all that. We then come to find out that behind this whole Michael Jones persona is someone else. Jenny then decides that now, while she's packing and while she's basically uprooting her whole life to go, she tells her daughter Christina that she was being catfish, which in turn makes Christina question her about it. Like, why, why do all this? You know, we come back to Jenny saying how when Michael Jones starts to catch feelings for her, he admitted to her that he was actually Sumit from India. He is 30, he's from India, he was working at a call center. Jenny then tells Christina that when she found out that it was Sumit instead of Michael Jones, she cried about it, and Christina's concerned for her. But Jenny forgave him for it because she'd grown feelings for him. And I understand why she cried about it. It's the whole manipulation aspect of it, which in my opinion, I don't think I would forgive someone as easily, but I understand where she's coming from. So after asking Sumit to get on Skype to meet, he does, and Jenny finds him cuter than Michael Jones. And she says that he did that because he was afraid she wouldn't accept him because he's Indian. Going back to that, I think the whole manipulation aspect of it would have been more important than being afraid that she wouldn't accept you for being Indian. Um, but I think I do understand the whole reason why behind it, but I think the manipulation part of it would hold a heavier weight. So after all this, she's still decided to go to India to be with him, which, if you ask me, is definitely not something I do personally. I mean, listen, I respect her choice because, the American dollar stretches much more than the Indian rupee, and it would go far there. But I think, again, safety definitely would be the number one issue. And, you're just gonna move halfway across the world to be with someone you don't know that well, someone that you haven't really spent time with physically. I think that tying in all together, I don't think it was like the perfect choice to just uproot your life and go there. But, it's Jenny. Okay, so she gets her Indian visa. She's relieved now. She's crying. She's relieved that now she can finally be with him. And in her words, says that she can now physically continue her relationship with him. She then meets up with her financial advisor to tell him that she's left her job at a resort and now she wants to permanently move to India. Her advisor, he's surprised, and he basically tells her that moving there is definitely an interesting one. He asks her how much money does she have, how much cash does she have on hand, and she's like, "Oh, I have $6,000." And he basically tells her that that is only enough to last you 6 to 9 months. You can't even afford a car. What are you going to do when the money runs out? And she says that, oh, she's applied for her social security because when she's away, it still gets going into her bank. And he tells her that if you renounce your citizenship, if you don't want to be an American citizen anymore, you don't get your social security, you know. And she's surprised. She goes, "Oh, wow, that's scary." Okay, guys, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. But do people generally not know that you cannot receive money from the government if you're not a citizen? Jenny, why are you surprised? Oh my god. Because if it was me, I'd definitely do some research about stuff like this, but it doesn't seem like she did. Um Finances are definitely something important to look at before you move halfway across the world, right? But it just seems like she's very hastily just uprooting herself to move to India to be with Sumit, right? I I mean, looking at this whole thing, I think she's, yeah, like I said, I think she's doing it very hastily, but it's Jenny. She seems confident about it. Her financial advisor, not as much.